Communication is a cycle. It's only complete if all the factors are done one after the other. The first factor in communication is speaking or expressing yourself. The second one is listening. The third one is decoding the message. And the fourth one is giving feedback. It's only after all these four factors have been completed that an entire circle of communication has taken place. As a corporate trainer, when I go to different organizations, I find that a lot of people spend a lot of time and effort to become better communicators. They learn how to speak better, how to express themselves better. However, not enough people talk about the importance of listening. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you why it's important to be a good listener and how each one of us can inculcate this skill. Listening is a skill that's ignored, but in a world that is ever changing, we need to constantly update ourselves. And one of the easiest methods to do that is to become better listeners, is to actually actively listen to each thing that's being said around us. Hearing and listening are separate, and we must be curious enough to put in a lot of focus on listening. The other reason we must become good listeners is because we want to understand the real meaning of what's being said. For example, somebody tells you, "Wow, you're looking so pretty today." That means something. On the other hand, if they tell you something like, "Wow, you're looking so pretty today," that means something totally different. The first one was said with a lot of sincerity, while the second one, well, not so sincere. Which means that if we want to understand the real meaning of things, we must learn to become better listeners. And the third reason we must become better listeners is because that makes the other person feel respected. That makes the other person feel cherished. That makes the other person feel appreciated. And that makes them want to go on and express themselves even better. In this section, I'm going to teach you how you can be better listeners. Number one, listen with a lot of curiosity. Imagine that every time you're listening to somebody or something, you're watching a movie, and this movie is going to have a surprise ending. If you have that kind of an attitude in mind, you are not listening with an attitude that you need to answer next. Just listen with curiosity, just listen to learn, just listen to absorb. So number one rule, listen to absorb. Don't listen to think about what you are going to be saying next. Number two, your body language as a listener is extremely important. Please remember 3 things that you need to do if you want to have good body language to be a great listener. Number one, make sure your eye contact is with the person you're listening to. That way you don't miss out on some of the non-verbal cues that they have to give. Number two, be extremely sure that you bend forward slightly when you're listening to somebody. That makes them feel you're genuinely interested in what they're saying, and that makes them speak more confidently as well. As an audience member, it is your duty to do that. Number 3, extremely important, don't have closed body language. Don't close your arms in front of you as you want to listen, and don't cross your legs together. When you do that, you're showcasing to the other person that you're closing off yourself from them, and that doesn't really encourage them at all. So, to be a better listener, have open arms. Make sure you're making the other person feel comfortable as they speak to you. After body language, there are 3 other small things that you can do in order to be a better listener. One of them is ask questions. When we start listening to somebody, often we realize that there are so many other things to know about a topic. The more questions you ask, the better the other person feels. Also, it helps you gain a deeper perspective of what's being said. The next point is very, very important. I especially suggest this to anybody who's working in the customer service department or who's listening for a professional purpose, and that is have a pen and paper handy. Just having a pen and paper in front of you helps you to take down important points, helps you to take down details and data. This also helps you to actually absorb a lot more information. Having a pen and paper handy encourages you to write, and if you want to write, you got to listen better. That really makes a lot of difference. And finally, always remember, if you're entering an important meeting where you do need to be a good listener, please keep all distractions away, keep your phone away, keep everything else that could disturb you away. I hope these things are going to make it easier for you to be a better listener and to actually add a lot to your conversations, whether in the boardroom or in your dining room.